Hello viewers, welcome once again to my channel. Today we're going to write another simple C++ program to find the sum of first 10 natural numbers. So in order not to waste much time, please let's get started. So we're going to start by writing our hash to include our C++ header files and all that. So hash include iostream using namespace std its main. Then return 0. Okay, so the sum of first 10 natural numbers, with this what we do is we take the number 1 up to 10 and then we add them, like we find their sum. So in writing it in C++, we will need about two variables, one called counter and the other one called sum. Now what the counter will do is the counter is going to count the natural numbers, and then sum will be adding the numbers as counter counts. So we're going to initialize our variables um, to find the sum of the 10 natural numbers, and we're going to use the data type int because we are not going to deal with any floating point numbers. So let's declare a variable. So int counter equals 0. Now I've initialized counter to 0 because counter hasn't counted anything, and also our int sum will be also initialized to 0. This is because sum depends on counter, and since counter hasn't counted anything, sum also hasn't added anything. And with this we are going to use the for loop because it's very easier to use the for loop. So we're going to say for counter, which is equal to 0, if is counter less than or equal to 10. So if counter is less than or equal to 10, what you are going to do is add 1 to counter, which is counter plus plus, or counter is equal to counter plus 1. So inside our for loops value, we write a statement for sum. So if counter counts any of the natural numbers, sum will have to take that value from counter and add it to whatever it's having. So we say sum is equal to sum plus counter, and after adding whatever value of counter to sum, we have to print it to the screen. So we say that cout sum, and also after the iteration we have to output the final value of sum to the console. So we see that cout the sum is the sum is sum. Okay, so let's test our code and see if there are no errors. So we click on build and run. Okay, we are getting an output. So there is it. So initially counter was having a value of 0, and we checked inside the for loop that is counter less than or equal to 10. It is true, counter is less than or equal to 10. If so, then you see that add 1 to counter. So counter will go to 1. When counter goes to 1, sum is going to take whatever value counter is having and add it to itself. So initially sum is 0, and as counter counts to 1, sum is going to take that 1 and add it to itself, and sum is going to be 1. That is why 1 is printed here. Remember, anytime we add one value to counter, we print the sum to the console. Okay, so now that counter is 1, sum is also 1. And then we check again, is counter less than or equal to 10? Counter is still less than or equal to 10, so we add 1 to it. So now counter will be 2. And as counter is 2, you see that sum is equal to sum plus counter. And remember that our sum is 1 and our counter is 2. So when we add the value of counter, which is 2, to sum, which is 1, we are going to have 3, the value 3 stored in sum. So that is the 3 printed here, and it goes on and on and on until the final stage where we get the total sum of the first 10 natural numbers to be 55. Now this comes to the end of our video. If you like this video, please like it, share it, and then also subscribe to the channel to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Okay, thank you. See you next time. It's bye for now.